So good morning. Thanks for stopping by the Prince George's County booth at TUGIS, and hopefully you're having a good conference. You're either watching this live or you're watching the recording. In any event, welcome. My name's Eric Pate. I'm a GIS analyst in the Office of Information Technology. I'm joined by Charlie Wren, also a GIS analyst in OIT, and more importantly, just as importantly, Cat Adams in the Department of the Environment. Cat is a GIS analyst, and she's going to present this morning on LitterTrak. And I was just telling Cat that I'm really eager to hear more about it. So let me turn it over to you, Cat, and share your screen, and it's all yours.
Thank you, Eric. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. So as Eric said, I am Catherine Adams, and everybody calls me Cat, and I work in the Department of the Environment. And today I'm going to talk about PGC LitterTrak, which is a tracking litter reduction in Prince George's County. So PGC LitterTrak is a smartphone application that was designed to assist both county residents, the county, community organizations, and businesses report trash and debris collected cleanups. Like, what did they pick up during cleanup events? It was developed in Survey123 because there is easy step-by-step questions that enable the user to submit the number of bags, the items, and the litter locations. So the litter collection data connects directly from the Survey123 app to our LitterTrak map and dashboards in ArcGIS Online. So the reason this is really important is that we as a county are under a federal mandate under the NPDES that we are required to reduce litter by 170,628 pounds per year in the Anacostia River watershed. Now, we are a very large county. We have actually 8 major watersheds, but this number is only for the Anacostia. And so the problem was the big question: where is the litter being collected? By your county agencies, your municipalities, your community groups, your businesses, your individual citizens. You know, we needed to know the who, what, where, when. So previously, what would happen is they've been doing litter pickup in the county for many, many years. And we tip our hats to that. We're grateful they were doing that. But the way they were tracking it is that the trucks would get weigh tickets, and then they would have spreadsheets. And so the deficiencies are the weigh tickets gave you the quantity of the entire truck. The litter would be picked up from different areas. You also could have multiple days of collection, and we needed to have like the type of litter for the MS4 credit. And even more specifically, we had to know what watershed so we could know if we were reaching that Anacostia watershed goal. Now, it's great. We pick up county throughout all the watersheds. It's just the Anacostia is the one that we have that number requirement. So the solution, we picked Survey123 for ArcGIS. One, because it was free with our licensing. It runs on Apple, Android, and Windows phones and tablets. The XLS form is customizable, and it's form-centric. Usernames. You can have everybody utilize usernames. So this provided a data trail and group assignment. And we didn't want to just have like an open app that anybody could just put in anything, because we have to be able to prove under our federal mandate that we are doing due diligence and we know who's doing what. And so we set up a registration site on our county website for anybody in the county who is interested in utilizing the app. So why Survey123? It's an easy to use application that lets our users answer our questions about litter collection, map their location, take a photo of the collection. It uploads to a cloud-based server. It feeds into an online map for analysis and reporting. The app supports voice to text and other built-in functionality of smartphones and tablets. You have the ability to complete surveys offline and submit later. That's important to us because there are parts of the county that are kind of like low Wi-Fi, low cell signals. So we wanted to be sure that we weren't going to exclude any area of the county as we're doing this. And it takes an average time to complete the survey of less than a minute. So XLS format, which is what is behind the Survey123, it lets you create relevant questions based on your previous responses. It allows you to do calculations in the background, drop-down boxes that can auto-populate as you type. You can put in hints, you can validate the data, you can set the default values, you can have hidden fields in the table but not shown in the survey. And there is an option for mandatory completion of different questions. And if you put on mandatory completion, the survey won't let you submit if you don't answer. So we actually have two versions. We have an internal version that we call LitterTrak, and it's for use by our county agencies and also the contractors that work directly for the county. And then we have our external one, which is used for community groups and county citizens. And the reason that there are two is they have different questions, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later. And so we also created user manuals, and we have those up on our website too. So here we are, we're ready to see LitterTrak. So here we are, we're in Survey123. So you download your survey, then we're going to select LitterTrak. Then you're going to click on the blue button to start collecting. Then you're just going to answer some very easy questions. Now remember, LitterTrak is for our county agencies. So we're going to say, what is your organization? And you see how there's a little red star? That little red star means this is a mandatory question. So then you pick which agency you're working for. Then we know there are different types of collections. And so we're asking, the question, what type of collection are you doing? Whether that's you're picking up bus stop trash cans, you're picking up illegal dumping, you're doing roadside litter, whatever. Program managers are looking at different programs. The next thing we ask is, what type of litter did you collect? And for this question, we set it where you can have multiple answers, because oftentimes when you're picking up litter, there can be multiple things happening. So for bags of litter and tires, there's a number, and we'll go to that next. The other things are like the main type of litter that usually happens around our county: illegal signs, construction debris, mattresses, different things. If you pick tires or litter, then you get a question that says, how many bags of litter? So you can easily just pick one of the round buttons if you have up to 10. If you have more than 10 bags, which sometimes happens when you have big groups doing like a big cleanup, there's a other button and it'll just pop up another screen and let you type in the number. And then we tally all of those up in the background. We also ask if there's additional information you would like to provide. And we do get notes in here from people, like, oh, this is like the 5th time we've seen, all these tires here, because people dump litter all over the place because they don't want to either take it to the dump or pay for the fees to dispose of. So that's one of the reasons there's a lot of illegal dumping. So then the next is it asks for your location. It automatically uses the GPS in your phone or tablet. And so we always ask people just to make sure you see a dot on the map. If you're not seeing a dot on a map, you can actually click the little compass and you can move it around. We ask people to collect their information while they're in the field where they're collecting the litter. Then we, in the LitterTrak app, we just have a photo as optional, but you can take a photo and then you just check this little button, the little check mark, to submit. So when you submit, you have, I always tell people, if you have a blue collect or you have a gray sent on your phone, that means you've collected the data and it got sent up okay. If you happen to have an orange or a green, that means that information is either draft or it's in your outbox. That means it's sitting on your device and it's not going up. Like, we don't get that information yet. So I always just tell people, look for blue and gray. If you see that, you're good. If you see the orange or green, you have to come back in. So like I mentioned before, part of our county is in like dead zones. So we made sure that when they get back to their offices, they know to go in and check that yellow or green button to submit their data up. So that is pretty much the app in itself. So one of the things to remember is that, I have the choices in there. It's easy to update the choices. But the problem is I can update the choices in my office, but it doesn't get put on people's phones. They have to go in, uninstall the survey, and re-download the survey. So I always tell people, if you're going to set up a Survey123, try and think it through beforehand. So now we're going to go over PGC LitterTrak, and it's very similar. This is the one that was designed for our county citizens, our community groups, and our municipalities. And so first thing we do, we hit the blue button for collect. We ask what type of cleanup they're doing. And then we ask what is their organization. If they're a community group, then another button pops up. And here is a pre-populated list of all the community groups that we know about. And there's also an other button, but just to help people not have to type in so many things, we set that up. We also ask the number of volunteers at a cleanup, their contact person, a contact number, and an email. And then we go into the regular questions. What type of litter did you collect? It follows the same thing for tires and bags of litter. It also counts the number. Any additional information? We have the location, and in this group, we have the photo of the collected material as required, because we wanted to be able, if the EPA and MDE came back at us and are like, oh, well, we don't really think you guys are collecting that much stuff. We wanted to be able to say, well, yes, we have. We have proof from our community groups. And then, of course, you just check the little checkbox. So the online map, of course, all of this feeds into the online map. We were doing reporting analysis. We created this using the web app builder for ArcGIS. We had the LitterTrak map, which of course you can look at the tables and the data. And then I also created a dashboard. And so this app was created in 2016. And so we have, our dashboard has a couple different things. The big number, 64,369, that is the total number of bags that have been created by county agencies since its inception. 202,331 are the PGC LitterTrak numbers. All the ones in blue are the PGC LitterTrak numbers. And then down in the bottom center is a black number, and that's our Clean Water Partnership. The Clean Water Partnership, they do like maintenance to our BMPs and stuff, and they pick up litter while they're out there doing those maintenances, like on the stormwater ponds. So as you can see in our dashboard, we have a lot of different things, and just to make it easy for the managers to come in and look at the data and get different things. And the data, the dashboard also has filters. So I have set up a whole bunch of filters. So remember, the Anacostia River is like the big one for us because that's where we have to have our numbers. So I set up a watershed filter. And so when you click that, you see that our map automatically removes everything else, and it changes the numbers in the dashboard to only show us what's in the Anacostia. Challenges and lessons learned. You want to ensure that Survey123 is updated on the devices. That's one of the things that I found is when anybody's having a problem, it's normally because they haven't updated the main Survey123 application on their device. You want to think through your choices, my friends. Your survey has to be re-downloaded if changed. That's not a big deal if you got 3 people and you can be like, hey, you guys, re-download. But if you've got a lot of people in a lot of different aspects, it can be challenging to get everybody to re-download a new one. You want to save your data as an FGDB if you're backing it up from ArcGIS Online, if you want to preserve your photo attachments. And the biggest thing, do not change the schema of your survey, even if you accidentally do it in ArcGIS Pro. Like say you're looking at your data, if you accidentally add like a letter or anything to your field names, it breaks the whole thing. So that is it in a nutshell of my presentation on LitterTrak. Do you guys have any questions?
That is awesome, Kat. And one of the most amazing things to me is you first stood this up in 2016, and here we are at just 2021, and it's still rolling strong and being used by several groups, internal and external, just as you imagined it and implemented it. So in IT terms, that's a lifetime. It's 5 years, and it's still going strong. So yeah, kudos, and it's important work. It's making a difference.
Yes, and since then, Esri has created new things you could do, but because I have so many people utilizing it, I haven't really, I'm not ready to migrate it because it's hard once you get people doing it a certain way to move to some of their newer applications. And so I know at some point we will, but like you said, you're right. That's like a lifetime. 5 years in IT is a lifetime.
We'll be talking to you at some point about embracing some of the newer stuff. But for now, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. The other thing about LitterTrak that I find really interesting is opening it up to external users, and it's working. You know what I mean? And they're embracing it and they're contributing data. Granted, they have to register through the county website, and then an ArcGIS Online account is created for them. But that's absolutely a good practice. But just opening it up to outside users is huge, and I think it's something that's fairly unique because you're leveraging that data. You trust it. You know, you're QCing it. You trust it. You know who's contributing it, and it's part of your workflow. So that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So we will be posting this video in our booth website.